only one feller can tame the Wild West. Only one feller is young, dumb, and full of courage. And only one feller goes by the name of Roscoe Taylor, the Tallahassee Tween. Brought to you by KZSM.org. Today's episode, The Twisting Terror at Tumbleweed Junction. Standing at 5'1", Roscoe Taylor wore a hat that made him 6'3". But he isn't standing right now. He's riding on his horse. Scientists measure horses with hands, making our hero 20 hands tall. And every handful of Roscoe wants the same thing: adventure. Our setting is the edge of a small western town, and our year is ambiguous. Roscoe's been wandering for quite some time in search of glory across the open plains. But he's come up empty so far. That is, until he meets a man wearing only a barrel and suspenders.
Howdy, son.
Howdy, mister. What town am I in?
Well, you okay there, son? Why, you're down at Tumbleweed Junction, the tumbleweed capital of the West.
Tumbleweeds, you say?
Yes, sir. We have the biggest and only tumbleweed factory this side of the Mississippi. Most of the tumbleweeds here are from this here factory. They keep busy spinning up twine and hay until pristine, quality-made tumbleweeds are put into circulation. Tumbleweeds are the hairball of the western frontier, as I always say. And in this analogy, our town is a really big cat.
Guess I never thought of it like that.
Most people don't.
So you guys manufacture tumbleweeds, huh? I always thought they just sort of made themselves with the wind.
Now that's just Richie. Tumbleweed making themselves. If that were true, my whole town would be out of the job. What's your name, funny boy?
Roscoe Taylor, the Tallahassee Tween. Pleasure to meet you.
Mayor Martindale, the town mayor. Likewise.
I'll get straight to the point, Mr. Mayor. I'm looking for any wrongs that need righting. I'm trying to make a name for myself as a cowboy do-gooder, but so far, my resume is a little lacking. Is there anything you might need help with?
Well, if you're looking for wrongs, you sure came to the right place. We've been ransacked.
Ransacked?
Plundered.
Plundered?
Swindled. Held up. Bereaved. This town's been downright burgled. We've been robbed, I tell you, and the Floogins brothers gang is to blame.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I'm sorry to say it.
Just then, Roscoe saw another man walk up wearing only a barrel and suspenders. But this guy had a tinfoil star taped on his chest, and he had a gun in his hand.
Howdy, fellas.
Sheriff, aren't you a sight for sore thighs?
I see the Floogin brothers gang already got to you too, huh, Mayor?
I'm afraid so, Sheriff. Meet Racecar Johnson, the Tijuana turnip. He just wandered in from the desert. I'm telling him about our town.
Nice to meet you, race car. It's a mighty fine horse you're riding, and a mighty tall hat you got on your head. Sure beats any town gallon I ever seen.
The name's Roscoe Taylor, sir. And thank you. This horse here is Barnaby, and my hat can fit about 25 liters in it. Though I bet you can fit more in that barrel you're wearing.
I think you might be right, Rat Trap. Mr. Mayor, I hate to interrupt your conversation, but there's been a little bit of an incident.
An incident?
You see, those dadgum Floogin brothers broke into our tumbleweed factory and kicked all the workers out. Made it their new hideout. I went over there to ask them to leave, but they robbed me blind and stole my clothes. It was demoralizing, to say the least.
These Floogin boys sound like they need stopping. Is there a bounty on them?
Sure. They're wanted for tickling cattle down in Nevada. Reward's $200 for the three fellers alive, but nobody in our town has the means to stand up to them, and I have trouble with confrontations.
This is terrible news. I wish somebody could stop those crooks.
Well then, Sheriff, You better crack open your piggy bank, because I'm the tween for the job. I'll catch that gang and get your clothes back. You townfolk will tremble in fear no longer.
Well, I wouldn't say that we were really trembling, but thank you anyway, Randall.
Please, call me the Tallahassee tween. It's a thing I'm trying to get started.
Thank you, the Tallahassee stream.
That's close enough. Now, Barnaby, let's ride. Hyah!
When Roscoe finally pulled up to the Tumbleweed factory, there was something sinister in the air and quite a bit of dust. Standing on the second-story balcony was a stout, bald man in an ill-fitting silk suit with a satin sash draped over his egg-like frame. Roscoe, being nearsighted, really had to squint to see that the sash said Mayor.
Howdy ho, Mr. Criminal.
I ain't no criminal. I'm the mayor, see?
That's not your sash, and that's not your suit. You're one of the Floogins brothers. I know you took those clothes from the real mayor.
If you don't believe me, then I'll have the sheriff vouch for me. Sheriff? Another stout, bald man joined him on the balcony, a man with an uncanny resemblance to the so-called mayor.
Hey, it's me, the sheriff.
You're not fooling me, phony. I just met the sheriff, and I know you stole his clothes, too.
If you don't believe me, why don't you just ask this here train conductor?
Howdy-ho, 'tis I, the train conductor.
Okay, I didn't happen to meet the train conductor on the way here, but I bet he's somewhere out there wearing a barrel because you stole his clothes. Because you bandits got sticky fingers and bad attitudes.
Hey, that train conductor was a woman, thank you very much.
All right, yes, we're the Floogins brothers. We have a very strong family resemblance and a habit of doing whatever the heck we want.
And who in tarnation are you, Wyatt Twerp?
I'm Roscoe Taylor, the Tallahassee tween, and I'm here to take you down. To jail, specifically.
You hear that, boys? This bean sprout can't be more than 13. He think he gonna take us to jail.
I don't reckon I want to go to jail.
Me neither.
Hit the road, Cactus Jack. We're not interested. We do what we want, and we don't want to go to jail.
Well, you can't always get what you want. I came here to make sure you get what you need. And you need to give everybody their stuff back. Or are you a bunch of scaredy cats?
We ain't scared. We just don't feel like wasting our time on some pipsqueak wearing a hat that's twice his size. You ain't worth our time.
You don't want to waste any more time? Then come with me to jail. I'm not going to move from this spot until you come down here to face me. I mean it. I have nothing better to do.
But what if we just shoot you?
You won't hit me. I'm incredibly good at dodging.
Let's see about that.
In the blink of an eye, one of the Floogins brothers' boys whipped out his 6-gun and fired 5 shots at Roscoe. But this tween had a skill that no one could have seen coming. Oh my God, he's bending backwards and dodging every bullet like Keanu Reeves.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
That's right. I got cat-like reflexes and a dog-like sense of smell. I sniff those bullets coming from a mile away, and I can dodge any others who shoot at me. I am not moving out of this spot until you come down here. It would be a waste of your time to waste the rest of the day, since I'll still be here anyhow.
He makes a compelling argument.
I agree. Listen now, son. We think you make a compelling argument, so we're gonna come down real quick.
Nice to meet you boys face to face. You're balder than I thought you'd be.
And you're just as short as you look.
Look, kid, we don't want to do you no more harm, but we also can't really help you out with this whole take us to jail thing. Do you see our predicament?
Yeah, and I know I'm asking a lot, but it would mean so much to me and to the people of this town if you could just stop committing crimes and face the consequences of your actions.
Sorry, Chuck, but you're out of luck. That's just not the way the Floogins brothers like to live.
Why are there so many spittoons everywhere?
We live life like wild stallions, running free on the open plain, doing what we want, when we want, eating carrots.
Horses don't rob people and hold up tumbleweed factories.
Okay, then we like to live like raccoons, stealing things, using our opposable thumbs, eating trash.
Now that sounds like a crummy way to live. How about you live like a parakeet?
And how's that?
Locked behind bars, eating crackers.
We said no and we meant it. Now go away.
I can't take no for an answer. You're all going to have to fight me.
Okay. In a flurry of fists and feet, the men tussled around at top-notch speeds. Finally, after a swift uppercut and 4 left hooks knocked the hat off our hero's head, the Tallahassee tween tumbled onto the ground, bloody and beat.
He's knocked out. I'll tie him up to that chair. We don't want him causing any more trouble for us.
Good idea, brother.
I love you guys.
We love you too, Brian.
Will Roscoe escape the clutches of his kleptomaniacal captors? Will these villains get away with their crimes? Will those spittoons ever be cleaned? Find out the answers to your burning questions after this short commercial break.
I'm Jordan,
And I'm Lexi.
and we're the hosts of the brand new KZSM show, Swamp Gas Uggos. Join us every week as we dive into the swamps of reality and discuss cryptids, ghosts, UFOs, and everything else that goes bump in the night. I believe.
And I'm scared.
And you'll catch us every Sunday at 10 p.m. here on KZSM.org.
When we left our hero, things looked bleak. Roscoe was unconscious for 3 hours before he came to. Finding himself tied up to a chair, he struggled to no avail, before suddenly he remembered a certain skill that could get him out of this pickle.
Huh? Where am I? Where's my horse? Ropes? Classic mistake. I guess those Floogins bozos didn't consider that since I'm young. My bones are as flexible as can be. I can just bend and contort my way out of this rope.
Every inch of Roscoe's body stretched and strained until he had untangled himself out of the chair. This sequence would be horrifying to see in real life, but in an audio medium, we can get away with it.
I'm free! Now I'll check the corral. I bet they put Barnaby in there. They have like 30 horses all shoved together in this corral. These guys are immoral and disorganized. Barnaby! Barnaby! Here, horsey, horsey!
Roscoe found himself shuffling between the mass of horse hides in a desperate attempt to spot his steed. One horse looked striking, Roscoe thought. A stallion right in front of him was wearing a cowboy hat and 4 pairs of spurs.
That's pretty peculiar. Shh! What was that? Who's there?
Come on, kid, zip it.
Huh? Is that horse talking?
You're gonna ruin everything. I'm undercover.
I've never seen a horse talk before.
I'm not just any horse. I'm a horse bounty hunter. A horse who is a bounty hunter. You can call me Checkers Justice.
Wow. I'm Roscoe Taylor, the Tallahassee tween.
That's very nice. Now we need to stop talking. Shh.
Okay, so you're going after the Floogins brothers band too? I tried to throw them in jail, but they got the better of me and tied me up to a chair. You know how it goes.
I've been tracking these lowlifes for a few days, and I snuck in with all these stolen horses. Now I'm waiting for the best moment to strike. I'm going to start a stampede soon, trample the 3 of them, and get the reward money.
The bounty is only on the condition that the brothers are brought back alive.
Now, that's news to me. I guess I need to think of some other strategy.
I'll say. Have you seen a horse named Barnaby? He's beige, like 12 hands tall, or is it 10? I never remember how to measure
No,
that.
I haven't seen your horse. Now be quiet or leave. I need some time to think. This is my only shot to catch these crooks once and for all.
How about we help each other out? You scratch my back, I ride yours kind of thing.
I guess I could use some help, even if you do talk awful loud. Okay, Small Fry, you're on. Let's whisper about our plan now.
Just then, the Floogins boys waddled back into the factory to see an unwelcome surprise. Oh, brothers, looks like we're gonna be able to... Huh? Look, the kid's not tied up anymore.
Oh, dang, I thought I tied him super tight.
Leave it to old Butterfingers to lose our only captive.
I told you to stop calling me that.
Nuh-uh. You told him to stop calling you the ugly one. You never said nothing about him calling you Butterfingers.
I thought it was implied. I mean, that you should stop calling me nasty names. Besides, I ain't the ugly one. Travis is the ugly one. He went prematurely bald before any of us.
That's right. The last time we saw his sorry mug, we stole his wallet and his toupee. He sure was ugly. Sorry I called you mean names, brother. I guess I was just frustrated at the situation and I lashed out at you.
Well, thanks. It's nice to feel heard. Travis, now he's a plump idiot, ain't he?
You said it.
I hope we never see that sorry no-good son of our mama ever again.
Yeah, what kind of sissy decides to become a real estate attorney instead of following the family trait of thievery?
He's such a tool. Anyhow, I can't believe that little feller got out of them ropes. Now, where could he be?
Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Whisper, whisper.
Good idea, Roscoe. Let's do it.
On your mark.
Get set.
Go! Hey, fellas, look over here.
It's that middle schooler and some horse.
Let's beat 'em up, boys.
Give it up, you suit snatchers. We have you beat. You may have kicked my butt before, but I have backup now. And my partner is an 1,100-pound horse who can stomp you to death.
That's right.
What's it gonna be, boys?
We ain't done yet. Brothers!
Yes.
Get into T formation!
Yes!
What? The three of them are just running around?
That's bizarre.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're making a tornado by running in a circle really fast.
It's getting bigger.
We gotta get out of here. This whole factory is being destroyed.
Run away. Wait, come back. Let me get on your back first.
Sorry, kid, my bad. Hop on.
Roscoe and Checkers ride and ride until they're out of sight of the tornado, which immediately grows so large that it swallows up everything in an 80-foot radius, including the walls of the factory. Once they're close to Town Hall, the mayor and sheriff poke their heads out with alarm.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like you to meet Checkers Justice. He's a talking horse.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I got good news and bad news.
What happened? Why, there's a giant tornado destroying our beloved factory.
That's the bad news. The good news is, I'm pretty sure the Floogins brothers are dead. We had them cornered in a fight, but they made this big twister to get us off their backs. The thing got so out of control, the entire factory's getting ripped to shreds. We just barely made it out, but I reckon anybody that gets sucked into that thing is a goner. I guess when I say it like that, none of it sounds like good news.
Oh, what are we gonna do?
I'm fresh out of ideas. How about you, Roscoe?
I don't know. Maybe we could clog the tornado up? But with what?
Rocks?
Too little.
Boulders?
Too big.
Oh, I know. Why don't we use the one thing this town has way too many of?
Tumbleweeds!
Now, how in tarnation is that gonna work?
Think about it. You said it yourself. Tumbleweeds are nature's hairballs, and that tornado looks just like the whirlpool in my bathtub when I drain it.
The kid is right. I clog up drains with my hair all the time.
That's a great idea. And disgusting imagery. But there's only one big problem with that. They put the last shipment of tumbleweeds into circulation last night. There ain't any left in the factory. Just a Stuff the workers make 'em out of.
And what's that?
Hay, twigs, and twine.
Maybe there are some fully formed ones lying around nearby. Doesn't the wind just make tumbleweeds on its own?
That's what I told the mayor earlier. He just laughed at me.
It's true. I laughed at him then, and I'd laugh at you now. If I weren't so terrified of that twister, that wind couldn't possibly make a tumbleweed. It takes years of experience and a highly trained craftsman to concoct one single weed. It's as elegant and an art as oil painting or taxidermy.
Well, we don't have years, Mr. Mayor. That sucker is on a one-way track to the center of town, and if we don't find a way to slow it down, it'll send this whole place sky high.
Checkers, you've never played baseball before,
Horses,
have you?
Horses don't really play any sports aside from polo and jousting.
Say I tossed a big tuft of twine at you. Would you be able to catch it?
Well, I don't have hands, but I got grit and a can-do attitude. I bet I could find some way to use these old hooves to help you out.
If we can throw that twine and hay back and forth through the tornado, maybe we can make enough tumbleweeds to clog it for good. We just might be able to stop this thing.
I think this entire idea is foolhardy. You're gonna get yourselves killed. Like the mayor said, without the proper training, you won't be able to make any kind of weed, tumble or otherwise. You just be throwing string in the wind.
We'll have to try. It's better than nothing.
I agree. Now, where do they store the tumbleweed materials?
There's a huge underground silo beneath the factory. The door to it is on the left side of the place, next to the corral.
Perfect. Checkers, come on. We ain't got a second to lose.
We're getting close to that silo door. This wind is strong. It knocked down most of the factory walls, and it yanked all those fence posts into the sky. We need to be really careful, Junior.
Shoot. It's locked shut. If only there was a large object that could break down this door. Something that would be flying at a fast enough speed. Something...
Oh my God, look up in the sky. It's the Floogins brothers gang. They've been sucked into the very tornado they created. This is some Shakespearean levels of tragic comedy.
I guess a thief by any other name would fly as fast in a tornado. Is that anything?
Nope.
Sorry, I'm out of my element here. Making quips about Shakespeare just isn't my strong suit.
We all have our weaknesses.
One thing I am good at, though, is tossing my trusty lasso. And I think if I throw my rope into that tornado at just the right angle... I caught all three of those idiots. Now I'll try to tug them down in the direction of that lock.
And with one mighty tug, Roscoe's rope yanked the brothers down towards the silo. With a loud crash, they made a Floogins Brothers-shaped hole in the door.
Well, that's one way to pick a lock. The door's busted wide open, and their bones look pretty busted as well. Serves them right for getting all of us in this mess.
We're in excruciating pain.
Hey, shut up, you!
It's just like the mayor said. There's bundles and bundles of hay and twine down here. Let's get to work. You ride over to the other side of that tornado.
All right. Now what?
Catch this!
Roscoe and Checkers started playing the highest stakes game of catch the West had ever seen. Roscoe grabbed tufts of hay and twine and threw it through the center of the tornado, where Checkers would catch and kick it back to Roscoe. They kept doing this until the entire silo was empty. The cyclone started to bulge in the middle, and knots began to form between the strands that our heroes had thrown into the whirlwind.
Well, we did all we could do. Let's get back to town, quick.
Okay, help me grab these guys.
Here you go, Mr. Mayor. Just like I promised. One batch of bubbling bandits, all wrapped up for you.
You're back, and still alive. I can't believe you actually caught those crooks.
I'm not a crook, I'm the mayor.
Shut up, you!
But I don't understand. The twister's still at large.
Large is right. It's huge, and getting bigger by the second.
Look closer. Notice how dark it is now? It's working.
My God, you're right.
Much to everyone's surprise, the tangled twine that was whipped around the force majeure started to take shape. It became one giant, 200-foot-tall tumbleweed!
That's huge.
That's enormous.
That's right. It's clogged up the tornado. The wind's dissipating.
I can't believe it worked, Roscoe. The factory got completely flattened, but the twister spun itself out.
And you two said tumbleweeds could only be man-made.
I guess the egg is on our face, boys.
I'll say, our small town's only source of income has been destroyed. Without that factory, a lot of folks are out of jobs. They're gonna be mighty angry, and I'm afraid of confrontations.
No, no, no. This is our saving grace. That tumbleweed is huge. I bet folks from all over the country would pay good money to see this. Do you know what that means? We just went from a manufacturing community to a tourist trap.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess it just might be a blessing in disguise.
I'm glad we could help your town out, but let's talk business. Can we collect that bounty on the brothers?
Of course, fellas. How could I forget? Here it is, 200 big ones to the order of Roscoe Taylor, the Talladega Twink, and Checkers Justice.
Why did you get his name right?
I don't know what you mean, son, but it was a pleasure meeting you both. You take these hooligans off to a jail in Cactus Springs now. Their sheriff over there don't have any problems with confrontation. Better mosey before they kick up any more trouble. So long.
Take it easy, would you? We're fragile.
Now don't you start.
Whatever. You know, all that day saving has worked up my appetite. I'm as hungry as a horse. Oh no, Barnaby, I completely forgot about my horse.
Oh, jeez. I'm sure all those horses those goon rustled up scattered and ran far off as soon as that fence post blew away. Your horse could be anywhere by now.
Dang. Now I'll just have to walk wherever I go from now on.
I don't know about that, kid. I'm sorry about your old horse, but I got 4 legs that were made for trotting. I kind of thought we made a pretty good team. What says you and me join up for a while?
That sounds like a great idea, Checkers. How about we ride off into the sunset now, like a couple of bona fide heroes?
Deal!
Our daring duo ride off into the great unknown in search of adventure and glory. What other hijinks will they get into, you may ask? What other beloved characters will they meet on their journey? The only way to find out, friends, is to listen to these commercials.